I feel like I was always thinking like a witness is a second entity, right? Like you're a witness and you're witnessing thoughts, no thoughts, mind, no mind, right?
Hmm.
And now this witness itself, I mean, technically, like you said, it is everywhere, right? It's not like it becomes perception. I think that's what is difficult to comprehend.
Yeah, that's because we are so used to seeing everything in duality, in two. I and the other, I and the other. But Advaita says there is no I. And you
Hmm.
recognize this, that which you were calling I was actually the knower.
Hmm.
And how can the knower in this pot be different than the knower in that pot, and be different than the knower in that pot, and be different than the knower in that pot? All
Hmm.
the pots have the knower. How can everybody say that my knower is infinite, unlimited, borderless, and
Hmm.
devoid of objects? How can everybody's knower be infinite? How many infinite spaces do you know?
Hmm.
So there's possibility of only one infinite knower or knowingness.
Hmm.
So that which I was thinking as I, the
Hmm.
ego, is not
Hmm.
really what I was thinking it to be.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like I give you the example. If I take a mirror and I shine the light of the sun, you will think that it is the Ekta's light, but really it is not my light. So basically, I was living on borrowed light, thinking this is I.
Hmm.
Got it? Yeah. So it is just
Yeah.
the knower that has forgotten itself and got lost in the world of people, situations, things, objects, and
Hmm.
has created an apparent duality. The duality is also not real,
Hmm.
it is an apparent duality. This same knower who had forgotten everything now comes back and recognizes, oh, I am the knower.
Hmm.
And then he realizes, oh, I am infinite and I am free of objects. And then he starts recognizing that it's not that I am just inside this head or at the background of something. I am like an ocean.
Hmm.
And if I am an ocean, in this ocean only things come up, they play for a while, and they go away. Like a wave rises up in the ocean, plays for a while, and goes away. This is
Hmm.
just the second leg where the knowingness is exploring itself. The knowingness
Hmm.
is knowing itself. Now that
Hmm.
it recognizes itself, now the knowingness needs to figure out really how are these objects rising up. Is there really a separate entity called matter that I always thought this body was, or that thing was, or that person is?
Hmm.
So now it starts exploring. In the third leg, it is exploring this world, and it
Hmm.
goes out and it says, do I really know matter? Do I really know matter? No, it is just perception of touch,
Hmm.
perception of sight. What is seeing made of? Seeing is made of knowing.
Hmm. Hmm.
What is touching made of? Touching is made of knowing. What is hearing made of?
Knowing.
Knowing. So the stuff that each of our perception is made of is knowingness itself.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
really, there is no two, there is no duality. Everything is knowingness.
Hmm.
Knowingness only comes up in the form of this world, and knowingness only dissolves back into this world. Now we don't
Hmm.
even know if there is a world out there.
Hmm.
There is no solid proof that there is matter. Even scientists are still
Yeah.
experimenting on this. Even they keep having their own controversies whether matter exists or it doesn't exist. Yeah? Even way before scientists started arguing about this, it was already there in our Vedantic scriptures, where Advaita clearly points out that everything is just made up of consciousness. It is one, it's like one blanket of consciousness. In that one blanket, certain objects come up, they play, they look different, and then they go back into that blanket. And there is nothing else. It is just one field of consciousness, infinite field of consciousness. Understood?
Yeah.
So in the first leg, we see it as object and subject because that's all I can see right now. So we start at the level where I am, and then Advaita hand holds you and takes you to this higher level. Yeah. So now then you start, now you have to start seeing it. And when I'm speaking to my husband, the seeing, the hearing, the interacting, everything is nothing but knowingness. This knowingness itself is consciousness. This consciousness is aware. And it is isness. Yeah. So when I'm in my deep sleep state, what happens? In deep sleep state, because there is no object, no person, no situation, no thing, and not even a mind object like a thought about the person, the light of knowingness is illumining the absence of objects. Got it? So knowingness itself is no thingness. Yeah? So Advaita says that why consider it as a world of separate matter and separate energy where you don't have proof for this matter? Yeah? You just experience the energy. You don't experience matter. The same energy transforms into my thoughts. I experience my thoughts, I experience my feelings, I experience perception of touch or sound or taste. Everything is here. I don't experience anything out there. World means what? It is somewhere outside of me. Advaita says, where is your experience of this world happening? Here, right here. And how far is that here? 1 inch? 1 centimeter? No, there is no distance. There is no difference really. There is no subject and object only. That's why in the second leg, the object drops off. And in the third leg, you go out to experiment how the subject itself is everything. So now this elaborates that point of Ramana Maharshi, which we said that consciousness in activity becomes the mind and the world, and this mind and the world at rest is the consciousness.
Yeah.
So it's a practice. It's not that when I have opened my mouth and started speaking, the knower is not there. The knower is there. So now I have to just become a little more aware. There is a knower knowing that Ekta is speaking and her hands are moving this way. There is a knower. So it's like being completely aware. My domain range was very less. It was always in the foreground. And that's actually the way this body mind is designed. Our senses are designed in one direction, the outward direction. Eyes cannot look inside. Ears cannot hear inside. Yeah, so everything is directed towards the external objects. And the mind has only learned to absorb or conceive of or perceive information from outside. So now looking inside, mind says, oh, it's all dark, I cannot see anything, because the objects are turned outside, not inside. So it's a very difficult position for the mind, and that is where I'm not interested. Yeah, and that's where the mind does not go along with you very easily. But really, it takes some amount of time to recognize that I don't need the mind to turn inwards. With the mind outwards, I can still be aware that there is the knower. It's there quietly. Even when you're saying, there is somebody inside observing that Veda just said, I get it.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of just being aware, moment to moment to moment to moment. It's not that we've manufactured a knower. He was always there. Yeah, we had ignored him. Now we are ceasing to ignore him. Simple.
Yeah, yeah. So I think you very quickly touched on the fact that this awareness or this knowingness itself is bliss, right? So when you are, in your daily life, talking or doing your actions, if you are aware of the knowingness, does that mean that you are naturally in bliss then?
Yes, yes. You actually always are in bliss. Only what happens in a particular situation, say it's turbulent drama in office or at home, wherever, there is still the knower that is knowing this drama happening. This is the one that tells you, Veda, you are going on and on, you need to shut up now. Yes, and you don't listen. Yes, there is the one who is quietly observing from the background. The one in the front is the one who's the villain, who goes on and on and on and on and on and on with the drama. And you are very well aware of this guy, but the moment you get so lost in the drama, you ignore this guy. He's there. He's all the time there. It doesn't matter whether the situation is turbulent or whether it is very calm and peaceful. The knower is always there. Yeah? Till now, we ignored him and left him in the background. If you start becoming aware in daily activities, routine, let's not even take a turbulent situation, daily activities, just making the attempt. Yeah, I'm knowing that I'm cleaning. I'm knowing that I'm doing this on the computer. I'm knowing that the body is going for a walk. Just knowing, just knowing, just knowing. You are increasing your capacity of being there, in all the time being knowingly the knowingness. Yeah? When you increase your capacity, you will realize this knower does not have ups and downs like the mind has ups and downs. The mind has the raga and the dvesha, but it doesn't matter to the knower. So really, in every situation, when you crave for something, there is one part of you that says it doesn't matter if I don't get it. Have you noticed that? In a situation when you resist something, there is one part of you that has a feeling it doesn't matter even if it happens, it's okay. Yeah? So there is this knower in each one of us. Some of us have been neglecting it. Some of us have started listening to the quiet voice. It's not even a voice really. It's just that kind of peace percolating into your foreground, trying to calm you. And our own ragas and dveshas push it away and we hold on to our raga and dvesha. Yeah, so it has the nature of bliss, it has the nature of peace. We don't really have to go looking outside for peace. It is right there. Only only skill is to withdraw from this mind which is doing wah wah either about a craving or an aversion.
Hmm.
That's what I mean by going with the flow. That's what I mean by just being with reality as it is. Because that is
Hmm.
reality. This is not reality.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
So in
Yeah.
every situation, this knower is there. Every
Hmm.
situation. Now, we'll keep the difficult situations aside, just the simple, normal daily routine. Start becoming aware of the knower. Again and
Hmm.
again. Can I be aware of the knower? That's where you're actually going in your Buddha retreat. It's not different from this. There you're just
Hmm.
going step by step with closed eye meditation. Here Advaita is saying go directly.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, that's the only
Yeah.
difference. In that you're going step by step while purifying your mind, emptying the mind of raga and dvesha so that the knower shines very clearly. Here we are saying even if it's faint, you still know the knower is there. Now,
Hmm.
with your goal set, the destination is set to be able to see this knower clearly. Now, you start purifying your mind of that craving and aversion that is coming up.
Hmm.
Yeah. Both the
Yeah.
paths actually lead there. It's just
Yeah.
this is indirect, this is direct.
Yeah. I think in Buddha's path, I mean, I guess we probably haven't reached that stage in Advaita where you have, directions given as to how you bring out that knowingness.
Yeah.
Whereas in Buddha's, you kind of know, like, non-reaction. Okay,
Yeah.
like something comes up, you know you have to be non-reactive.
Yes.
And all of the other vows help so much
Correct.
in such situations that they feel like they are the tool.
Correct.
You know?
Correct. So that's
Yeah.
what you purify first, and then you become clear first, and then it'll shine. Yeah. And in this, it is the other way around. It is shining first. It is not so clear, but I can see it even through my dirty, muddy window. Now
Hmm.
my job is to clean my window. But in Advaita, again, that path that Buddha has of, oh, you take this vow, you clear up this, you do that, those are not detailed. Now you figure
Hmm.
that part out.
Hmm.
Yeah. So whichever way you go, you know that you've already tasted the destination. So the
Hmm.
false expectation of, oh, I'm going to have some great mystical experience, some light is going to shine, some wings are going to grow out of me, and I'm going to start flying and walking on water. You realize nothing like that is happening. Yes, those were all stories. So actually, it becomes very clear when somebody tastes at least the theory of both the sides, and then that
Hmm.
clarity dawns about what really is the end goal and what is the path that works for me.
Hmm.
Even when there are emotions coming up, even if it's a whirlpool of anger coming up in you, have you noticed that the knower is there in the background? The knower is always there. Sometimes the knower also says, David, don't say this, don't say this. But you're so full of anger, you say it. Have you noticed that? And then you're like, oh, I should have listened to that inner voice that said, don't say it, don't do this. You see what I'm saying? So at the background of every emotion, the knower is there. It's just that it is a very bleak voice at that moment because my emotion is so pronounced. And it doesn't matter what the emotion is, whether it is anger, whether it is hatred, whether it is fear. Irrespective of what the emotion is, the knower is always knowing it. On the path of Advaita, what is advised? about emotion. Because you are not used to this practice of being the knower knowingly, you have to learn to first embrace that emotion. In real life, what do I do when uh, an emotion comes up, say a fear? What do I want to do? I tend to run away from it. I don't want to face this fear. I don't want to see it in its eyes. Advaita says that is what causes the fear to come back again and again and again. Yes? So that is not going to bring you peace. By pushing dirt under the carpet, the room does not become clean. There is dirt under the carpet. So Advaita says, once you recognize that pushing something away is not the right action to do, you take up that emotion. If right now you are experiencing that emotion of fear, instead of pushing it away, pull it closer. Have the courage to dive into that emotion, to embrace it, almost like hugging it, kissing it. It's a very difficult thing to do because I don't want to be with the fear. But really, the truth is, you don't want to be with the thoughts of the fear. There is a story in the mind related to that emotion. It is because of this happened, that happened, I did this, or I should not have done this, or whatever the story is. This will happen in future. This story is what is like fuel to the fire. It is increasing the fire of that emotion. So Advaita says, keep the thoughts out and embrace the pure feeling. If it is anger, it is a fiery feeling. Yes, you embrace that feeling, be in it, just be in that feeling. Keeping the story out. The thoughts come again and again, you just relax from the thoughts. Relaxing means you will notice when you start thinking, you do this. Have you noticed? You clench your forehead. You're actually clenching the membranes of your brain when you're thinking something intently and especially related to a strong emotion. You have to unclench, relax from it, and go into the emotion. Sink into that feeling. The feeling is either of fire or it's a very heavy feeling if it is sadness. So in Advaita, they have given the feelings the quality of the elements. Anger will have the feeling of fire. Sadness will have the feeling of earth, heaviness. Do you get that? Yeah. If there is lots of restlessness in you, it is the feeling of air. Yeah. Air is always moving, wind is moving like that, and that's how you feel restless inside. Yeah. Anxious about something. Yes. And um, feeling is of water. Water is like a flowing feeling. It is more connected towards joy than with the negative feelings. So Advaita says, recognize that it is nothing but a particular element in this body mind complex that is predominant right now. So if it is sadness, which element is predominant right now? The earth element. Yes, it is heavy. It gives that feeling of consolidation. So just look at it as it is a pure element, and that is what is there right now. It's predominant. This is my reality, and you sink into it, sink into it, sink into it. You go deeper into the emotion, and you will notice on the other side, when you come out, you will come out to the same knowingness, the same knower. And that knower is bliss. That knower is devoid of any craving, devoid of any aversion. Yeah, means it is devoid of fire, means it is devoid of earth, it is devoid of air, and it is devoid of water. It is of the nature of space. What is the nature of space? Does it resist? Does it crave? Does it hurt? Does it burn? Yeah? Does it cause restlessness? Does it move here and there? Nothing. Space has a very unique quality, the quality of quietness, silence, bliss. Yes? Every emotion has this quality at its bed, only at its bed, which means if my emotion is a big valley, I will have to go through that emotion, sink into it, embrace the emotion, become one with it. It's okay if tears come out and if it's very difficult, you keep the story out. Don't entertain the thoughts. Just feel that element and go to the bottom of it, and at the other side, you will come to that bliss, the element of space. Advaita is very clear that in this ocean of space, fire arises, plays for a while, and it goes away. In this ocean of space, water comes up, plays for a while, and goes away. In this ocean of space, wind comes up, creates havoc, and goes away. In this ocean of space itself, earth is there, the heaviness, the consolidation, and it dissolves and goes away. You get it? So, first step is to deal with that emotion, embrace it totally, come out to the other side. When you come out to the other side, you will know, oh, the emotion is not stronger than me. The emotion does not have an infinite grip on me. The grip was very small, very limited. It's till the time I was not in this knowingness, in this awareness. Is that clear? Why did you come to the spiritual path?
I wanted to understand what my goal is in life.
Okay, so there is some thirst of knowing something that is unknown.
Yes,
From where did such a question come? You making your money, you were out there doing your career, your family. Then why did such a question come up?
because there's no satisfaction, no matter how much money I have, no matter how much sex I get, and there's no end to it.
Hmm.
It only gets bigger and bigger. The hole or the you can say
The
it doesn't
thirst
get
for
filled.
it, yeah. The thirst is never satiated.
Yeah. So that is the key reason. I feel that I've done so much in life. The point that I started from, I've gone through a number of situations, but yet, my my continuous rigor for getting more money, that is not dying out. My continuous thirst for getting more sex, that's not dying out. I
That's
think those
okay.
are two weak areas that I have.
That's okay. That's okay. Don't label yourself. When we label ourselves, then we create a ghost inside, and that ghost is beaten up again and again. See, you are the bad part of me. You're the bad part of me. And you keep beating him. Poor little guy, you first trapped him in a cupboard and then you keep hitting him every now and then. Then this creates, a feeling of I am not good. So, first of all, stop doing this. It is a very natural thing that is there in every separate self. Separate self is nothing but the ego. Yes? So, it
Yeah.
is a very natural thing that everybody has something or the other which is their weakness and which has started the chain of karma for them. Okay? And that is the reason that we are born. We are born out of our own karmas or karmas that we had done previously, and this birth is the karma phalam. Yes. Now
Yeah.
it's no point beating yourself up for doing those karmas.
Yeah.
That is water under the bridge. That's silly. It's over.
Yeah.
Correct? So that's
Yeah.
what you're doing. You're beating yourself for the past, which does not make sense. So, step number one, recognize that it's pointless to beat myself for that. What I can do is be compassionate with myself. Yeah? Drop
Yeah.
the beating. When you, suppose, I don't know if you have a teenager, but if you have a teenager at home and if you keep beating this kid up and, forcing him do this and don't do this, you know how they behave. They are like a sulking person sitting in the corner all the time, not really happy to be with you, right?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
that will be the relationship you will create with your own self if you keep beating yourself up. A part of you which gets beaten up like this continuously will be sulking in a corner and will never be friendly with you, will never be open with you. And that part of us becomes so sad. That is the part that never lets us be at peace. Yeah.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So most of us make this mistake. That's fine. Once you realize that I should stop beating myself, that's the first step we take in that direction. And second, the path of Advaita says we will deal with all the negativities later. First thing, this is the direct path. First, you know the knower of the thirst for money, the knower of the thirst for sex, the knower of this father of these kids, the knower of this person who has made this money. Have you recognized that knower?
No.
Now you are talking to me, okay? I am on your screen. Your eyes are looking at the screen. Yes?
Yes.
Your mind knows that the eyes are open.
Yes.
Yes? Do you
Yes.
notice there is something behind that is quietly knowing the mind?
I know that by virtue of the philosophy you share, but I have yet to see it. I've yet to.
Okay, are you aware right now? Are you aware right now?
Yes, I know.
Where did you go to know that you are aware? How did you find out?
Just inside.
Inside, correct. So where did you go? Was the answer with the mind?
Yeah. I think I just thought, and that thought came in the mind.
The thought came in the mind first. Am I aware? First question, am I aware? Who is asking this question in you?
I think the mind is asking that question.
If mind is asking the question, means the mind does not know the answer.
Yeah.
So where did the mind go?
Deeper.
It went to a level where there is some silence behind.
Yeah.
There is, correct? Yeah. It went to that silence. It tasted the silence and then formulated it into words and said, yes, I am aware.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have experienced
it.
You know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the awareness. It is that simple. It is not complicated. Don't expect some blue light, yellow light to shine from inside and some wings come up and you start flying. Sumit flying in this. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होने वाला है.
I totally understand. I don't have that expectation also.
So it's just that awareness.
I got it.
So that knower is always there. This was the first leg of the meditation that we just did.
Yesterday,
No, just right now. Yeah. When I asked you, are you aware? And you went in, and then the mind went into the silence and then came out and said, yes, I'm aware. So we finished the first leg of the meditation. Right now.
Yes.
Yeah. So now go back to that awareness. It is there?
Yes.
Yeah. You are that awareness. You are not this body that is nodding the head. Is that apparent to you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's getting apparent now.
Good. So that knower knows that Sumit is nodding his head in agreement. The mind is saying yes. It's becoming apparent. So the knower knows. Yes?
Yeah.
Now, how big is this knower? Is it only limited here? See, feel it?
Yeah. So the knower actually is the insight that you're saying.
Yeah.
So it knows that that I am. So that knower has the desire for money and other things.
Do you think the knower has desire for money? When the desire comes up, okay, I want more. I have already 1 million. I want 2 million. Who's talking?
Actually, the mind is talking.
Perfect. How do you know the mind is talking? Who knows that the mind is saying this?
Because अभाव तो केवल मन में हो सकता है.
Forget philosophy. No philosophy, no philosophy. Only experience. Right now, if Sumit says in his mind, I have 1 million, but I want 2 million. It is the mind talking. How do you know that it is the mind talking? Who knows that it is the mind talking?
The knower knows the mind is talking.
So the knower is there, no?
Yes, the knower is there.
Yeah, so the knower is there continuously. Is the knower craving for that money?
No, not the knower knows. The mind is craving for that.
Perfect. So you are very clear now that craving arises in the mind. Similarly, aversion to something, if there is some aversion, that also arises in the mind. Yes?
Yeah.
It comes up, it plays for a while, it goes away in the form of thoughts and feelings and drama created, and then it goes away. The knower is always in the background. The knower knows that these came up, they played for a while in my mind and they went away. And again, after some time, they come, they play, and they go away.
Yeah.
The knower remains untouched by all this.
Yeah. But yet, the surprising part is, in spite of entire consciousness, we take actions which are in line with what the mind wants, like whether it is money related or it is other.
I gave you the answer on Sunday. That's because the ego identifies itself as I.
Yeah.
Now the knower was not recognized by you. Yes? Ego does not exist. There is no entity like ego. Ego is just a thought that arises in the mind and it starts with the letter I. That's all it is.
Yes.
Yeah, it is not a continuous existing entity called I. It is just the activity of thinking, a sentence that starts with I, a feeling that starts with I. It comes up, it stays for a while, it identifies with the body as I, it identifies with the mind as I. And because it identifies with the mind as I, it says, now I want money, I have to make this money. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So it is.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah, so the mistake is on the part of the I thought. The knower knows this, but because the ego is so strong, we ignore the knower. He's like a small little ignored object sitting in the background. And we get lost in this drama. Yes? Advaita is saying, see, this knower is always there in your experience, not in philosophy. Now you give energy to this knower and recognize this I thought when it comes up. It's the ego. You don't fuel it. Let this knower grow.